Persistent rain in the past few days has wreaked havoc in parts of Gauteng, and this has worsened the already poor road infrastructure in parts of the province. Several roads in Randfontein and Centurion have been closed after sinkholes developed around them. Now, is it bad workmanship or perhaps a lack of proper maintenance? For more on this, I'm joined now by Dr. Harlan Cloete. He's a governance expert, a research fellow in the Public Administration and Management Department at the University of the Free State, and he's very well versed when it comes to local government matters. Dr. Cloete, good afternoon. Welcome to Today on eNCA. So we know that weather patterns have changed because of the impact of the climate crisis. We know that they are more intense. But I mean, when we see roads like we've seen in the recent pictures from around Gauteng this week with this heavy rains, one begins to wonder, could the infrastructure have coped better if it was well looked after?
Thank you, Dan, and good afternoon to your listeners and to your viewers. I spoke to a couple of colleagues within the local government sphere in preparation for this interview, and what they tell me that it's a combination of factors, that we have. Yes, we have aging infrastructure, but with our expanding population and urbanization, it could be that the infrastructure is either not well maintained or the infrastructure, the roads simply cannot cope. Some of the roads have not been designed to cope with the amounts or the volumes of traffic on these roads. If I just take the road in where I live, that it's clear that road was not designed to take all this traffic and the volumes of traffic. So it's a combination of factors, that you've got provincial roads, you've got national roads, and you've got local roads. And so it's a combination of planning, I think. It's about infrastructure and maintenance.
Yeah, so planning also, I mean, you talk about the growth in the population, but there's been rapid urbanization. All data that was available, I guess, to town planners and government showed that our population will be growing and there's a lot of migration into Gauteng.
Yeah. Look, like I said, sometimes it boils down to planning. I read a report earlier from the Treasury where it said, budgeted amounts, that corruption in some institutions are so institutionalized that before the money even gets to the municipality, it's already spent by corrupt officials. And so planning remains a problem in our country, but not only planning, I think implementation, like I've said before in this program, implementation and coordination is our main problem. Now, local government, because this happens in communities, we have had, as a policy framework, the district development model, which tries to get these different government agencies to stop not working in silos, but to work in a coordinated function so that we can deliver better services. But you're right, it could be that we have not planned sufficiently, or we knew the data, but we simply didn't turn this data into information and to knowledge and wisdom about how to manage the state capacity better.
What about maintenance, Dr. Cloete, at the local government level? We're saying, is it also a big factor? I mean, you can build a nice road, you can build a school, a new clinic, but if you don't maintain it, then you have these weather patterns, it's going to be damaged.
Colleagues tell me that sometimes it boils down to poor workmanship, as where consultants are hired, but then they do not deliver to the quality, and as quickly as the rain comes, then the pothole opens up again. And so there are communities, because the road infrastructure is extremely expensive, but there are examples where communities have fixed potholes themselves at a fraction of the price. And so yes, there is a need probably to also look at better quality workmanship to ensure that the quality of our roads, can handle the volumes due to urbanization.
Yeah, and the other point is, as we've seen in some visuals this week that we've showed here on eNCA, and we've been sharing some of them now as you and I are talking, it's that when you build roads, it's not just about the tar and the tarmac. It's also the attendant infrastructure along the road. There has to be proper drainage, because most times after a heavy downpour, the water has nowhere to go. Is there failure there as well from what you are picking up from your research, Dr. Cloete?
The problem, they tell me, is illegal dumping. And so you have a lot of dumping, illegal dumping in these rivers, and they find their way all the way to the sea. But what happens is that because of illegal dumping, it blocks the stormwater. And so that is a problem as well with illegal dumping. And so we have to work in a coordinated fashion. If we have illegal dumping in communities, then that spills right over to, what we've experienced. So it's a combination of community education, not to dump. It's poor workmanship, it's coordination. It's a combination of factors that one could attest to what is the problem. But illegal dumping surely is also have been identified as one of the problems.
Yeah, no, and it's very serious because I don't know what the solution would be. And my producer, Jabulile Ngobese, has told me that I'm out of time, but just one more, and if you may answer it very quickly. Has there been a flight of skills, a loss of skills in terms of town planning, for example, the supervisory arm of municipalities and roads agencies to make sure there's no illegal dumping?
No, surely. I'm doing a study now on waste management. We completed a study last year of waste management. And the results were shocking, is that almost 2/3 of the waste managers in South African municipalities do not have the necessary competence. And that's a discussion that we can have at another level. But we do have a competency problem in municipalities, and it is like a ticking time bomb.